Hey everyone, Eric Watson here, freelance writer, player of games, writer of words, recorder of videos, and maker of mid-year top 5 lists. As I've done in previous years, I don't wait for the end of the year to make a best of list, although I do one of those as well. We are halfway through 2019, so I'm going to present to you my top 5 games of the mid-year. Stick around till the end, and I'll also tease my 5 most anticipated games for the second half of the year. One important note to make: by mid-year, I mean as of the end of June. However, 2 big games released right at the end of June, which are not included in this list because I didn't have time to play them yet. The first is Super Mario Maker 2, and the second is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. So you won't see those games here. You may very well see them at my final game of the year list. Alright, my top 5 game of the mid-year starts with number 5. Fel Seal, Arbiter's Mark. What you see is what you get with Fel Seal. It is an unabashed Final Fantasy Tactics clone, and I use the term clone as lovingly as possible. Many Kickstarter indie games have banked on nostalgia to carry them with varying degrees of success. I am pleased to report that Fel Seal is an excellent example of how to do nostalgia right. Fel Seal feels like a Final Fantasy Tactics game in all the right ways, with unlockable multiclassing, synergizing skills and spells, and tons of loot and enemies and maps. It's also an impressively big game. I'm currently only about 15 hours in, and I think I'm maybe halfway through. What really sells it for me is a legitimately great writing with characters I've really grown to care about. If you care at all about tactics game in general, do not sleep on Fel Seal. Coming in at number 4 is the rather awkwardly named Druid Stone: The Secret of Menhir Forest. Druid Stone is another turn-based tactics game, this one by the original developers of the excellent Legend of Grimrock games. More than most tactics games, Druid Stone truly feels like a Gloomhaven-esque board game, as every turn must be carefully planned to maximize your movement and abilities. The action feels perfectly well balanced, and it features a character that is destined to make my most favorite character award by the end of the year, with the wisecracking, almost Deadpool-esque pint-sized mage Uiko. Druid Stone is not necessarily a game I would recommend to tactical neophytes, but it's one of the most rewarding and interesting tactical RPGs I've played. Number 3 is Slay the Spire, a game that really needs no introduction thanks to a successful stint on early access. Slay the Spire is a card-based roguelike dungeon crawler. The story and graphics are kept to a minimum, but the game makes up for it with a superb card battling system that's both easy to jump into and understand, and devilishly challenging. Slay the Spire is meant to be tackled many times with all 3 of its wildly different classes, with victory coming rarely. But I enjoyed the steady progression of unlocks and finding these beautiful interlocking card strategies. Also, this one makes a fantastic Switch game. Number 2 is yet another card-based RPG. It's SteamWorld Quest: Hand of Gilgamesh. What is up with these super lore-specific subtitles in these games? Anyway, SteamWorld Quest is by the makers of SteamWorld Dig 1 and 2 and SteamWorld Heist, which means it features brightly colored, gorgeous 2D art and stars personable robots. Unlike those games, SteamWorld Quest uses 2D screens to adventure through, and when encountering an enemy, switches to turn-based card battles. The unique system of generating steam with some cards and spending it with others remains fun and fresh for the full 15 to 20 hour campaign, and there's a fun little party of companions whom you can freely switch in and out, all with their own unique selection of unlockable cards. If you like card games like Slay the Spire, but looking for a bit more story and structure, you need to play SteamWorld Quest. Brings us to our number 1 game of the mid-year for 2019 is Wargroove. I was never a gigantic fan of Advance Wars, but I did love and play the original game back in the Game Boy Advance days. Like Fel Seal, Wargroove makes great use of its gaming nostalgia by recreating the solid tactical foundation of Advance Wars, with fantasy armies clashing over a pixelated map. The campaign is shockingly meaty, with a series of challenging side quests and an enjoyable story that lasts well over 20 hours. On top of that, it includes a large series of skirmish maps, puzzle challenges, a level editor, and multiplayer. The incredible amount of content, excellent tactical strategy, and fantastic art, music, and writing make Wargroove my number 1 game of the year as of June 2019. That wraps up my mid-year list for 2019. If you're still here, or if you skipped ahead for some reason, here is a quick rundown of my most anticipated games for the second half of 2019. In alphabetical order, they are Age of Wonders Planetfall, Borderlands 3, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. That's it. Thank you for watching. Let me know your favorite game in the comments, and I'll be back with my end of the year list at the end of the year.